Good evening, lads, and welcome back to another video. It is AFC Joe, and today I'm going to be making my predictions for game week 31 of the Premier League season. This week's guest is Harvey, and he has sent me in his predictions for me to read out. So we have got Leicester 2, Brighton 1, Spurs 1, West Ham 0, Man United 1, Sheffield United 1, Newcastle 2, Aston Villa 0, Norwich 0, Everton 1, Wolves 3, Bournemouth 0, Liverpool 2, Crystal Palace 0, Burnley 0, Watford 0, Southampton 1, Arsenal 1, Chelsea 1, Manchester City 3. So there we have it, Harvey's predictions. Now let's get into the video. Make sure to subscribe and smash that like button down below and comment your predictions for this week. Now let's get into the video. Now, starting off with third place Leicester versus Brighton, the team who beat Arsenal at the weekend very, very disappointingly. And here was my reaction to it. Is that going to be a corner? Yeah, of course, he blows the full-time whistle when we have a corner. What an absolute idiot. Of course. Sack this ref, honestly, this is an absolute joke. You let them have one more chance, but when it comes to us getting a corner, you blow the whistle. No, I think it's fair to say that I wasn't best pleased by that result, and it was really disappointing for all Arsenal fans. We weren't clinical enough, and that is what can happen when you don't take your chances. But for this game, Leicester against Brighton, I think it's going to be 3-1 to Leicester. Leicester were okay against Watford. They weren't spectacular. They got a point. And they might be quite disappointed by getting that point. Brighton, of course, beat Arsenal, but I do think Leicester will win this one 3-1 and fairly comfortably as well. Leicester played okay against Watford at the weekend, and Brighton, of course, beat Arsenal 2-1. But I do think Leicester will win this one fairly comfortably, and I think that Jamie Vardy might get a couple. Now, moving on to a London derby, we have Tottenham Hotspur versus West Ham United. And this one is going to be an interesting game because West Ham really need to pick up points if they want to survive, whilst Tottenham are also competing for Champions League and Europa League spots. So a win for them is going to be very good for them. But I do think Tottenham will win this one 2-1. It's going to be tight. Both teams are competing for something in the league this year. And yeah. Now moving on to another big game which I'm sure many people will have their eyes on. We've got Manchester United against Sheffield United. This one's going to be an interesting game. Sheffield United surprisingly lost 3-0 to Newcastle, whilst Man United drew 1-1 with Spurs. But I do think Man United will win this one 2-0. They are the better team on paper. Sheffield United will be very disappointed by the loss at Newcastle at the weekend. So yeah, Man United will win this. Now, moving on to Newcastle against Aston Villa, and I think this one's going to be 2-1 to Newcastle. They'll be very confident after a great win against Sheffield United. Villa need points, but Newcastle will just edge this one. Now, we have Norwich versus Everton at Carrow Road. And I think this one's going to be a 1-0 win for Everton. Norwich lost 3-0 to Southampton last week. Everton drew 0-0 at home to Liverpool in the Merseyside derby. And I think Everton played alright at the weekend. They might have felt that they could have won the game, but they were very good defensively. And it's never easy to keep a clean sheet against Liverpool. So yeah, this one's going to be 1-0 to Everton. Next up, we have Wolves versus relegation-threatened Bournemouth, and I think this one is going to be a very comfortable 3-0 win for Wolves. Raúl Jimenez is going to score. Bournemouth lost 2-0 to Crystal Palace, so their heads might be down after that. So yeah, Wolves will win this one fairly comfortably. And now we have league leaders Liverpool versus Crystal Palace. And I think this one's going to be a very comfortable 3-1 win to Liverpool. They're going to want to get the title secured as early as possible. It's definitely going to happen. I think everyone can admit that now. And yeah, Now we have Burnley, a mid-table team, versus relegation-threatened Watford at Turf Moor, and I think this one's going to be a 1-0 win for Watford. We've got two physical teams battling it out, but Burnley won't have Chris Wood or Ashley Barnes, two of their best strikers, and I think that's going to really help Watford. So yeah, it's going to be 1-0 to Watford, a massive win for them. And now heading down to the south coast at St Mary's Stadium, we have got Southampton versus my team Arsenal, and I think this one's going to be a 2-2 draw. Arsenal aren't in good form at the moment, the players don't look confident at all. We have a terrible record away at St Mary's. It's a stadium we always don't seem to do well at, and yeah, Arsenal will struggle here. And now we end it with Chelsea versus Man City, the game which I'm sure most people are going to have their eyes on, and I think this one's going to be 2-0 to Man City. Chelsea will give it a good go, but Man City will have too much for them in attack. I also think that Phil Foden will get on the score sheet, as he has scored 3 in his past 2 games, a very exciting young player, so yeah. Anyway guys, that is my predictions for this week's Premier League games. Hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to comment below what you think the scores will be, and it is a bye bye from me.